3, 2, 1.
Coach Ben here, and welcome to the BenchCast. And we are here today with our guest, King Leo.
What's
How's
up, fellas?
that for an intro?
Who just hopped on Instagram.
You just got on Instagram. Where can we find you on Instagram, King?
Electric Works.
Electric Works. I'm not.
Without
there's
the
some
O.
letters cut down on there, but
Yep, Electric Works without the O.
We'll spell it out for you at the end of the podcast.
Yep.
we'll try to spell it out. I think we hacked Forever Young a little bit.
Yep.
But it happens. All right, so we are on the BenchCast. If you can't see us on YouTube, well, this is filming for YouTube right now, but we have Coffee Flight out. All right, we are sampling Elvis's new business thing here. He's got cold brew coffee, and it's damn good. So, you got a business name or what? What's going on?
We're working on it. You see, the issue is fighting all these craft breweries for names. That's the real big thing we got going.
Yeah, lots of craft breweries popping up. I'm a fan, but we got the cold brew coffee. What are we sampling today here, Elvis?
So, first one over here is pecan tart.
Pecan tart.
One in the
bit of
back
milk mixed in.
is some blueberry cobbler.
Blueberry cobbler.
Looking forward to the blueberry.
Ours is straight. So which one? We taking pecan first?
Just pecan first.
King. The king's verdict's the true verdict. I like to
Smells
smell
good,
it.
yep.
I can smell the pecan.
I already prepared mine. I'm good to go.
How do you make these?
Just brew and cold brew.
I gotta see which one's my favorite.
That's some nice stuff. That'll give you a kick.
Oh, yeah. The pecan tart's an early morning coffee, really bold, really gets you up in the morning.
This is great. Caffeine content has to be high for me to like it. Because that's what I'm after.
Next up is blueberry cobbler, nice and mellow.
Oh, this
Okay.
is nice.
I can taste the blueberry. I think
Yep.
I'm a pecan fan, but I like the blueberries.
I think you just need the caffeine content.
If you give me the caffeine, either way, you can't go wrong. These are good, Elvis. When are these available?
Oh, we're all sold out, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, this is a final taste
Things
test.
are kicking off for
Things
you.
are balling.
That's awesome.
All right.
That's some good stuff, man.
Thank you.
So we are here with the king. Which one was your favorite, King?
I'm a blueberry fan, man, so blueberry all the way for me.
Oh, blueberry?
Yeah.
All right. So why don't we, I'm sure everyone is wondering why the hell you're King Leo. So what's the background on why you're the king?
Well, walked into the gym and that was the nickname that you guys gave me that
I just
day.
gave it to you.
Just gave it to me.
And just for reference too, at the gym there's only 3 kings: King Alec, King Jose, and King Leo.
That's
I'm not sure what inspired me to call you king that day, but
No,
it was
just
meant
stuck.
to be.
Yep.
It's
It was
fitting.
meant to be. So here we are with King Leo. We're fortunate enough to have him on the BenchCast today. We got a lot of good things to talk about. Why don't we start with your background in lifting? When did you, where did you start in lifting, and then when did you actually turn over to what you do now in powerlifting?
Well, after getting married, I kind of left the gym, got fat.
Which happens.
Which happens to all of us once we get married.
Yeah,
you know, you get all
most
that
of us.
home cooking.
When are we? What are we talking like for timeline here?
So let's see. Probably about, I would say about 10 years ago, I started really
And
getting
how old
back
are you
into
now?
lifting. 43.
42. So about when you were 30, low 30s, something like that.
Mid-30s.
Mid-30s.
Yeah, about
okay.
mid-30s. I was about 250 pounds. Big
Okay.
beer belly.
Oh, so you were a big guy.
Yeah. And I just felt unhealthy, man, you know.
Uh-huh.
Got up. It's hard to get up, walk around. Got a manual job, so...
Yeah, absolutely.
Out of breath all the time.
Always.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you know, and it's hard when you have a manual job, of walking up and down ladders and so forth.
Do you did you have any prior experience with lifting before that? Just every now and
After
then with friends or play sports?
through high school, I ran track, I played football, played lacrosse.
Pretty active there. huh?
Yeah, and then once I graduated, I worked at a gym for a little bit. I was like 180 pounds when I graduated. As you can imagine that.
That's pretty light.
Yeah.
Yeah, King Leo. Not the beefiest guy in the world, but he's a tall guy and he packs a lot of muscle onto his frame. So we're not looking at like some giant like B-horn type of dude that we all know here. He's got good muscle on his frame though, so it's very surprising to think of him as a 180 pounder.
Yeah,
that's a long time ago.
Yeah, 180. So I'm 220, 225 right now.
225.
Yeah.
So you gained good 40 pounds or so in the meantime.
Yeah.
So so you said got married, kind of put on some weight there.
Yep.
Like what you get up to? What's your top out at?
Top was like 250, 255.
250. So about 20 more than you are now, something like that.
Yep. But it was a lot of beer weight.
Yeah.
I used to drink a lot, so.
So now you shaved off most of the fat, added a lot of muscle. That's kind of where we're at right now, right?
Yep. I started at Big Box Gym, where most people lift.
LA Fitness
LA
type deal.
Fitness.
Yep.
That's exactly where I was.
One of those chain gyms.
Yep.
There's actually back home good LA Fitness near me. 2 stories, Basketball Hall of Fame's right there. Had some good lifts down there, but I love that spot because you got the Hall of Fame, got an ice cream place, you got a bar. You can hit the bar out there. Actually, a bar right on the LA Fitness.
Hit the gym and then
Really
hit the
nice,
bar after.
Yeah, really nice LA Fitness. Well, that's how the gym and we're at right now. Gagnon Strength setup. We got the brewery right next door. So
Smell all those hops.
Damn.
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah, when they brew it, it's very interesting. It smells like fried dough.
Yeah.
And I was always wondering, what the hell is that smell? And I didn't know until I like talked to some beer people what the hell that smell actually is. They're actually brewing something over there. But they're coming out with beers all the time. But it had a bar right on the LA Fitness, really nice spot. But what were you doing there? I think you did a lot of calisthenics, you said.
I actually had a personal trainer. So basically for 3.5 years, I never lifted a single weight. It was basically internal core strength and abs and just overall conditioning to get yourself back in shape.
So would you be able to take us through a typical workout back then for you?
Sure. It was usually about half hour. It was a lot of bar stuff, pull-ups, core work, floor stuff, basic, planks
leg raises.
Yeah, leg raises and stuff.
So you'd start out with core.
Yeah, basically most of my routine was core stuff, and then we did some stuff to get the feet moving and things of that nature, just for some overall speed and lengthening of the muscles and so forth and so on.
Yeah, that's one thing I think we can all benefit from: core strength, being able to control our bodies better. Something I'm definitely lacking now, and I could feel the effects.
When I went to physical therapy way back when I got knee surgery, my physical therapist told me core strength was everything in life and that I had none.
I think they would tell me the same thing.
Yeah, core strength I feel is, as we graduate into starting to actually lift weights, it's one of the most important things. And even if you're sitting at a desk job, core strength is super important. It kind of keeps you back straight and keeps you from hunching over and so forth.
And there's a huge thing with injury prevention and core strength.
Yeah,
big
yeah,
time.
for sure.
But what I think's going on, like myself, like most people, a lot of lower back pain issues because everyone's got that anterior pelvic tilt. Sitting down most of the day, we get that tight hip flexor.
Yep.
That thing pulls our pelvis forward. If you got a weak core, nothing really going on here in your midsection, there's nothing to really pull it back into place. There's just a huge off balance, rotated hip, and then everyone's getting that lower back pain, but understandably because it's getting crunched together, so much extension. So just being able to bring up your core, just by the way the muscles attach into the hips and all that, that's going to pull you more neutral, but we just don't have as much of that nowadays. Everyone's sitting at desks, they're not training.
For those of you who don't know what that looks like, imagine Donald Duck. People walking around with Donald Duck butts.
That's true. Popping out.
Yep.
Or any Instagram model.
Yep.
That too. But yeah, I think I got the same thing going on. Granted, I think it does help me with my bench because now I could get the butt down a little bit easier. But definitely, if you're trying to be a 3-lift player here, not helping you at all in your deadlift, you got to have that core strength. And you're really interested in King Leo because King Leo, let me tell you, he will grind out some weight. And you think, you take 400, you'd be like, oh, I don't know how much he's got left. And all of a sudden, he's up to 600, it's moving like the same speed, slow as molasses. But he's just got so much core strength. And I'm sure you could contribute that to your time at LA Fitness doing all that work.
Yeah. My trainer was really good. That's really what he was focused on until I actually picked up a bar. I mean, when I went there, I could barely do a pull-up, maybe 5 or 6 push-ups. I was kind of really out of shape. So it really benefited me.
But now you'll get your hands on a weight, and man, it just keeps going.
That's it.
And you had some crazy lifts at the gym, and I'm just like, I don't know how the hell he's pulling it out. I remember this one time, you and King Jose were battling it out for the deadlift crown, and it was probably one of my favorite battles at the gym. So it was
a good time.
Let me just lay it out for you here. King Jose was by far the favorite to win. King Leo was definitely the underdog in this event. We were going 5 rep max that day. Highest weight wins. So here's King Jose, and he's moving fast. He was looking real good that day. King Leo, he was looking good too, but again, he's a slower lifter. So while he was hanging on to the weight and all that, he was not moving as quickly as King Jose. So in my head, I'm thinking, oh man, this might be close, but I think King Jose's got it today. So we get up. I don't remember the weight. It was like 525, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere around there, 525, 535.
Might have been something like that. And I told you, I was like, if you don't hit 5, automatically losing to him.
That's correct.
And man, King Leo, by rep 2, I was like, it's done. It's over. I was like, there's no way in hell 3 more come up. But sure as you know it, 1 rep at a time, he just kept pulling it out of his ass. I think it saw Jesus come down and take the wheel. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was a good day.
Then King Jose, he tries to top him 5 pounds. That's the rule. He got a top. And he got 2. He got 2.
Yep,
he was moving fast
2.
on the first, and all of a sudden, just kind of ended. So it just shows you the difference in lifters, too, which is really interesting. You have those slower lifters that can really stay with a weight, and then you have those explosive lifters. And when they fail, it's like you don't see it coming. It's just brick wall. It's over.
Yeah, I by far am one of the slowest pullers ever. Squats, deadlifts, even, benching, everything is slow. But, the core strength helps with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. That's big strength of yours. So, you talked a little bit about your job there. You have a manual labor job. You kind of want to go into what you do there?
I'm an electrical contractor, so, I own my own business. We wire houses, commercial projects, all kinds of stuff like that.
So you are just going most of the day?
Yeah, pretty much.
You wake up in the morning,
we're going all day long.
Yeah, so you're pretty much lifting at your job as well. I mean, that's,
in a sense, yeah. Some of the stuff we carry is quite heavy, yep.
Yeah, so I'm interested to hear your thoughts, because I personally think, and this is debatable, everyone will tell you something a little bit different. I think having a manual labor job sets you up in a really good position to exceed in strength sports, because you were just handling so much volume throughout the day. You're pretty much getting a training effect there. On the flip side, though, there's that argument. You come into the gym later at night and you were just tired, kind of pooped out from all the shit from the day. I know everyone kind of goes back and forth on that, but typically manual labor people I see come in already have such a great strength base that if they could just figure out how to play around with their training schedule, they can really take off. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, for manual labor, I feel like we're already stretched out during the day, and we have a different kind of a strength than you would normally have as per somebody who just lifts, so to speak. Mm-hmm. So, we definitely have, some shoulder strength. The hips and legs are already stretched out from walking and carrying and bending over all day long.
So you're saying really good general base strength, more like strongmen who just are really strong in a lot of different movements, carrying, correct. Overhead.
Yeah.
Obviously, powerlift is very fine technique involved in a barbell lift
yes.
to that capacity. So there's a lot of technique that goes into it, but you coming in with a good general base of strength obviously helps.
Yeah.
Whereas someone on the flip side, I might be very proficient in a bench press per se example, but if I go and move a couch, oh my goodness! Good luck to me and everyone else.
Yeah, I feel like overall strength, manual labor job is gonna give you the edge over somebody who might be sitting in an office or doesn't have that everyday 8-hour physical activity, so to speak.
I feel bad for everyone sitting in an office.
Yeah.
That is probably the number one destructive thing you could do to your body.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
I agree.
I know some people work at an office all day, and man, I feel bad because I know in that scenario you only get a certain number of breaks. You're just kind of trapped at that chair. There is some things you can do, stretch and whatnot at your seat, but man, you are really just locked down to that seat, and that's such a bad position to be in. And I remember I said I was slinging chicken. I was doing some chicken deliveries, and it was just driving all day. Just all day driving, and just especially being in a car where you're reaching out with your right foot and your left is kind of tucked away. I felt really, really twisted and locked up in a real nasty way from that. That was probably my worst. I was getting some serious low back pain.
I've never had more issues with my hips than when I had a desk job,
Yes.
Just always locked in that one position. It's brutal.
Yes. I heard somewhere, and I'm sure anyone can echo this, but sitting is the most destructive thing if you want to be an athlete, any type of performance sport, strength display. Sitting down is the worst thing you can do. And actually, too, I'm not sure where I ran across this, but I read somewhere that there's 11 times more force on your spine when you're seated than when you're standing. Because obviously now you're not engaging those core muscles.
Yeah, the core just turns off when you're sitting with that back support.
Yeah, glutes dormant. Abs aren't doing nothing to hold you, and you are just taking a big brunt load onto your back, onto your spine. So really destructive position to be in.
Yeah, everybody hunches over when they sit.
Yep.
We should all invest in the butterfly.
The bow tie.
The bow tie, yeah.
Bow tie.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about the bow tie. I love that product. That thing, and for those that don't know, I demo at every bench clinic. I think it's really valuable during the warm-up phase. I demo it, but the bow tie made by Donnie Thompson. He's a real creative inventor of strength equipment and whatnot. But not many people know he was also the multiply world record holder for a while. 3,000 pounds is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And he had like a 1,200 something pound squat. Pretty damn good. But he invented the bow tie, and what that is essentially, it's just the free version is, he says, is a knee wrap just kind of tied around your shoulders, and it just pulls you back into position. And he made an actual thing, like a sling. You just wear it over your shoulders, your upper body, and just pulls you back in neutral position. So if you're at a desk typing, that thing's pulling you back pretty neutral, and you can feel when you take it off after an hour or so having it on, even less, big stretch in your chest. You feel really loose, really good.
Yeah, it forces you to keep that upright position and keep your shoulders back, and forces you to tighten your core a little bit while you're sitting.
Yeah, and you can't slouch with that
No.
thing because now you're fighting against it.
Exactly.
So, yeah, definitely something to check out, the bow tie.
Butterfly, as I call it, sorry.
I think a lot of people call it butterfly. It should
You're
just
not
be
alone in
changed
that one.
to
Well,
well, if you just attach some wings to the back,
Yeah, that's
you can
it.
get the butterfly harness.
One thing you could also do is just moving around more, like putting a timer on your phone, just even getting up, resetting your position, getting your brace, and then sitting back down is huge throughout the day.
Yeah, I mean, even if you could move around every 15, 30 minutes.
Yeah,
as
something.
much
Get up
as
and
you
use the
can.
bathroom, go to the water cooler. I don't know if they still have them in offices, but, just something to, re-engage all the core muscles and just stretch out the legs a
that's
little
interesting to think about, too, is actually maybe going through something like a plank or something where you're getting that core demand, not only stretching, but actually something that forces you to brace. What I do in the morning, which I feel helps me an enormous amount, because if I don't, then I am in a rough shape, is a simple hip flexor stretch. Really simple, but you can feel how locked up the front of your hip is when you get up in the morning, and I have to take care of that. I'll be in the office because we have the hardwood, so it's not great for your knee. So I go up to the office, you got the rug up there, and I just do some simple hip flexor stretches. It takes me like 2 minutes, but I get it done, and man, world of difference. Actually, if you go on our YouTube channel, the Big Benchas YouTube channel, you'll see a routine called the Core 4. You just search that in the Stretch to Win program. It includes hip flexors. But if you just do that quick little Core 4 stretch, wow, what a huge difference that makes. And it takes like 5 minutes of your time. So, do you have anything you like to do, King?
Anything to, like when you roll out of bed, just to, just get the nerve receptors firing and just stretch out a little bit of stuff. Even if you worked out the night before, is anything simple, even a foam roller, all that stuff is good. I mean, at one point I was just, I'd roll out of bed and just do 50 push-ups. That used to be my thing. I don't have a lot of time right now, but, that really increased and helped. It stretched out the shoulders, just got the blood flowing in the morning before I hopped in the shower.
Yeah, just doing something.
Something, anything.
Yep.
And then if you have something like that, like I just do this, and then it becomes routine, a habit, and then you just get it done.
Yeah. Yep.
Then a good book, if you want to read up on damage sitting does and try to prevent it, is Desk Bound by Kelly Starrett. That book is great.
Okay.
It's huge.
I didn't even know that book was out.
Yep.
That's interesting. I got Supple Leopard. I think everyone has that.
Yeah, everyone has that one by now.
Everyone has Supple Leopard. I think there's a second edition out now, but Supple Leopard 2.
Yep, 2.0.
Yeah, that's a great book. I was kind of when I first got into powerlifting and started learning more about mobility and what you can do with foam roller, lacrosse ball, all that. Supple Leopard's a great book to read. So now I'm going to read Desk Bound.
Yeah, I'll loan it to you.
Because believe it or not, I'm sitting down most of the day. Even as a coach, a lot of my stuff's online, so I'm sitting down at my desk. I'm trying to wear the bow tie, so I try to stay out of that as well.
So we got a question from Billy G37.
All right, shoot it.
What's your guys' opinions on slingshot for benching?
Slingshot for benching. Well, if you ask King Leo, I think he'll give you a totally different thing. I'm sure he likes to whip it around there.
Well, the slingshot is a great tool for overloading and just trying to alleviate the stress on the shoulders and stuff. So for me, it's a really good tool. Especially the Titan just came out with this new RAM product, which is phenomenal.
That is like a single ply shirt. So if you want to get into multiply, start there. It's what, $85?
Yeah, $85.
Titan.
If you get it direct from Titan, it's 2-week lead time. They make it on their own. So it's a great product. The slingshot also has like the 3 colors. They have the black, the blue, and the red, I think.
Yeah,
Or
different
is it yellow?
stiffnesses.
The different stiffnesses. So
Red and yellow is the same.
yeah. So the black is really
Aggressive.
really aggressive. You can really overload. It's great if you're going for like 1 rep maxes. You can use it to alleviate stress on your shoulders, and then go for your 1 rep max after that. And it's a great training tool.
Yeah, I like how King Leo mentioned, because he had some shoulder issues for a while, the slingshot as a way to kind of work around that too, which I think is really valuable. If you're experiencing some shoulder issues, definitely do a slingshot because it allows you to go full range while you're still a bit tweaked up.
Correct.
And you can still get your benching in.
Yes.
So at least you're doing something there. And talking my opinion on slingshot, if you're a raw lifter, really the only ones I like seeing in use is the blue ones, because it doesn't take too much away from that bottom range. You still have to have a lot of strength down there, but it gives you just enough to have a good overload. I
Yep.
think if you're a raw lifter and you're messing around with the black one and all that, you're getting so much deload at the bottom that it almost just becomes ridiculous, and you're not, it's just fun at that point.
Yeah, it's fun.
You're not getting
Yeah.
a training effect, you're just having fun.
Yeah.
I think it's super huge if you're used to the bodybuilding type benching, with the elbows flared out, grinding through the
It can
shoulders.
pull you in a little bit.
Pulls
Yeah.
you in, gets you a better groove.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
definitely puts you the slingshot definitely puts you in a better position, the appropriate position for benching, so to speak.
Yes, and on the flip side, if you use poor positioning with a slingshot, that's where I don't really like it too, because it sometimes will throw you up into your shoulders.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of people don't know how to groove it right. It's closer to a shirt groove than it is a raw groove. For a shirted lifter, love those things. Oh boy, I think they're fantastic. I use them all the time. Like King Leo using the Titan Ram, definitely check that out. I think that's an awesome tool, because now you don't have to get into a shirt, but you're getting almost the same effect, so you got to really groove that right. And King Leo's transitioning over, and we're going to talk about that a little bit, and it's helping him right now get familiar with what's going to happen in the shirt, like where to touch, how to throw back, and whatnot.
Something else.
But before we get too much into that, I want to go back to the manual labor job thing. Do you think that helps or hurts you? I don't know if we got that from
For me, and I feel like for most most guys that would lift, it definitely helps. I mean, it can fatigue you, like trying to get to the gym, but again, if you have goals and stuff, that little bit of fatigue, you toss that out the window, man. You want to go to the gym, you want to lift. That little bit of fatigue from the day is really nothing. If you're trying to accomplish things, that's how I feel. So I think it really helps in overall strength. The fatigue thing you throw out the window, and I feel like we have an advantage over people who just sit at a desk, so to speak.
And if you ever do end up having a day off, the day you go to the gym, you feel like Superman.
Oh yeah, for sure. You get that rest day. It's there's nothing like a rest day. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Most definitely. So, you think that gives you?
I think it gives us a little bit of an edge, for overall strength. But if you're powerlifting, then technique is something else.
The bracing, the core,
yeah,
getting
all that
that
stuff.
moving
Yeah,
that stuff around.
Yep.
And you brought up a good point too. If you have goals, compared to someone who's just going in, staying healthy, trying to lift, they're gonna have a really hard time because now they're fatigued. They're like, "Oh, I trained today." They're moving stuff around. But if you're a powerlifter, you got specific goals of numbers you want to hit. You're not gonna let that type of stuff deter you. You're gonna be there and you're gonna show up.
Yeah, you gotta. There should be fatigue. Should never be an excuse not to go to the gym.
Yeah, you would just you have numbers to hit. You get your ass in there and you work towards it. So that's a really good point. Is the motivation involved there? I know for myself too. Bench goals. I'll make sure I don't miss a bench session.
Yep.
It's just what you do.
Yeah. It's super important.
If we let ourselves, we can all find an excuse or reason not to go.
Well, that's the thing. And once you find one excuse, then it's, let me have another one.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't feel like going today. Well, then every time you have that issue, you're just not going to want to go to the gym. So, people always ask me, I always tell them, there should be no reason for you not to go to the gym unless it's like you have an emergency. Just get to the gym, put your time in, fatigue or not, you fight through it.
Pretty amazing how many excuses we can come up with.
Yes, for sure. Oh man, I'm stuck in traffic.
Somewhere.
I'm late. Man, just get it done.
I know when I'm late somewhere,
hours.
I'm thinking of like 20 different excuses. Shit, a plane flew by, it distracted me. Couldn't make this turn, I missed the turn.
Yeah.
Everything but you. So
yeah.
Yep.
So very good insight there. Speaking about benching at HQ, we got a fire truck coming by? What the hell is this disturbance? That was a dump truck.
You got construction down the road, man.
Construction down the road. Yeah, they blocked that off. Anyway, so benching.
Yep.
This is the BenchCast.
Yeah,
Let's get into benching. So you came down a couple times now. Big Benchas HQ, where we are right now, the benching headquarters.
Yep.
And you've been putting in some work.
Yeah, it's a good
had
place
these training nights called board blitzes, where we're just trying to get on the board. We're lifting some big ass weights.
Yep.
Good time. We got a bunch of savages in here.
Only the strong survive on the
That's it.
And it doesn't even matter like what your strength's at. If you're just coming in willing to bust ass, we're getting after it.
Yeah.
So, talk to us about the atmosphere and just like benching here with everyone. I know I have a hell of a time. It really takes me back to that.
This is like almost like old school, clanging the iron gyms and like an old school Gold's gym. It's heavy metal. Everybody's just clanging weights, trying to hit PRs. It is ultimately one of the best atmospheres for lifting that I have probably ever been in.
Yeah, this isn't that big of a spot.
No, it doesn't need to be. We're just benching.
We have a bench.
Yep, we have weight.
We have a bar, and we have enough weights until I need another plate. I'm actually in the market for 100-pounders.
You can't fit another 45 on that bar.
No.
I'm at the point right now where I max this bar out. We need a new bar. We need 100-pounders. So I'm gonna do my looking on Craigslist.
Yeah.
But we have a really good time in here. Bunch of crazy dudes getting together. The thing I like is we got some multiply stuff going on.
Yes.
That's really fun, especially as shirted lifter. Everyone's kind of getting into it, bringing their shirts down. I'm sure everyone in the neighborhood's like, "What the hell, these crazy dudes going?"
Yeah,
crazy
it's a real good time.
Music, no shirts on, but we have a good time. So it just brings me back. I'm having fun lifting again. Because the thing too with coaching is like you can't. When you're coaching, you're not always lifting with people, and oftentimes you just gotta squeeze in workouts where you can, and I really miss just having people around, us all training together, getting after it.
It's like-minded people having the same goals. It's just to lift heavy-ass weight. That's
Yes.
what it is.
Yeah, so it was a really good time. Elvis, I think you made the board, or you got knocked. I think you
I got knocked off the board. Only the strong survive, Benny.
That's right.
Damn it, we gotta get you back up there.
Yep.
You'll get back up there.
Got to throw a deadlift board up and we're good to go.
No, that's the thing. There's no deadlifting allowed.
There is nothing but strictly benching in the Big Benchas
Oh.
HQ.
Yeah, if you want a deadlift, you can go somewhere else. That's about it. So, yeah, we have a great time over there. We're here. So I want to talk a little bit about transitioning into multiply.
Yep.
All right, you got the Titan Ram on.
Yes.
All right, how's that so far? Different.
Yeah, it's kind of prepping me for when I get my shirt.
Mm-hmm. What does it feel? The weight, you haven't handled that weight in your hands yet, so you're getting new weight in your hands. Is it like a lot of pressure?
It's
you're having a hard time. You said breathing, you're having a hard time.
The breathing's a little different. As the weight gets heavier, the 3-man handy's a little different because everybody's a little uncoordinated, so to speak.
Very tough to coordinate that.
Yeah.
Especially
Get
in
that
the
to
beginning when you
details.
have
Yeah.
3 new guys working
Yeah.
together.
So, it comes down a little funny, but the bracing is super intense. And then just lowering that weight, especially weight that you haven't really touched before, and just getting used to, feeling things that are over 400 or 500 pounds.
It comes down real slow, right?
Yeah, it comes down super slow. You almost have to force it down. And if you don't hit that groove, man, that bar's coming right for your throat. That's all I can say.
Yeah, and that's kind of your welcome to the club moment.
Yes, that's the welcome to the club moment.
We've all been through that. I've had some come crashing down near my neck on safety pins. I actually had that one shirt explode. That was pretty wild.
Yeah, we tried to take 430 to a 2 board, and there was nothing there, and it just went right for the throat. Good thing for a 3-man handy.
Yeah.
Yep.
You had that little wake up.
Yeah.
I know Melon, who was on the BenchCast a couple weeks ago, she, in the meet, no less, she was taking one almost right to the brain.
Yep.
Which was a little scary. I was kind of laid back because we got good spotters there.
Yeah, we had good spotters.
It was kind of her welcome to the club,
Yeah.
so I was like, "That's it, Melon."
That was Big Lou right there.
That was Big Lou. Yeah, he came out of nowhere. That was like a dive save.
Yeah.
That was great. She could have got it up. Pretty much sure she had it. But right now for you, it seems like you're hitting a good spot, but then you're pressing straight up. You're not quite in that groove quite yet.
Yeah, not 100%.
Because what's different from raw lifting, whereas I say it's a half V type deal. Well, if you go to the shirted lifting, now it's like a big ass half V.
Yeah.
All right. So now it's like I don't even know, like a.
It's almost like a
thing.
it's like an angle like
you
this.
really
yeah.
angle back, and
Yeah.
you have to get that going soon, like very quickly. You
Yeah.
can't hang out down there in that bottom range. You gotta get that shit flying back because you're touching lower. You're touching a little lower than you would to raw, whereas raw, I guess, would be more straight up and down.
Yes.
Not necessarily straight up and down, but you get the idea. Whereas now shirted, more of that V.
Yeah, more of the V on the way back,
Mm-hmm.
where raw is not necessarily 100% of the 90. It's just a little bit back further.
Yeah, you get a slight angle back.
Yeah.
But that's really your thing, and once you get it down, I mean, who knows? Who knows? You got that shirt coming in with your order.
The
Inzer
the
SDP there.
yep, the Inzer shirt I ordered. So that's
Best
gonna be,
shirt in the biz.
Yeah. Yeah,
Best shirt in the biz.
I'm the go big or go home guy, man. I don't half-ass anything. It's just the best.
Yeah, I was talking about that with Melon, how there's some people like to gradually get into it. I'm more of an all-in type of dude. I'm just like, if you're gonna do it, just do
Yeah.
it.
Dive
you know
right
what I
in.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
Dive right in. Don't worry messing around, single ply. Just get right into it. Go right to the multi, whatever you want to do, because you're gonna learn either way. My thing is, like, back in the day, you were just handed a shirt at a gym, and you're like, good luck. So you sunk or swam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can learn it. You just have to have the right people around
Well,
to
that's
teach
the whole
you.
thing. Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
I don't like dipping my toes in. You might as well just go.
Yeah, just head first.
You might as well just go. So you got yourself a new shirt.
Yes.
I'm sure you're pretty pumped about
Yeah,
that.
it should be here in a couple of weeks.
So
Yeah,
you
I'm
got
looking forward to
you
it.
got a meet coming up.
Yes, in the 16th, I
Couple
believe.
weeks,
Couple weeks.
something like that.
Yes.
And you're doing that raw.
Yes.
You got some certain numbers in mind?
We'll see. Training's been a little off. Deadlift has been kind of crappy, but I have a 635 dead. That's my nemesis right now that I've missed twice. So I'm hoping to get that.
Get that this time.
Yep. So the last meet that I did, I was just coming off my shoulder injury, so I only hit 315 on the bench. So I'm hoping to really smash that.
Yeah, you will smash that one.
And then the squat is it's kind of hit and miss sometimes. So I'm hoping to be somewhere over 500.
All right. So real good, respectable numbers coming into June. 2 weeks.
Yep.
Sure, you're pumped about that. But that's probably a last raw meet. Well, I shouldn't say last, but you're going to be
one of the last raw meets. I want to do an RPS meet raw, and then everything after that is going to be full gear. We're transitioning into full gear.
So what inspired you to get into the gear?
Well, and I always joke around about this, but I'm like the old guy in the gym, so I like to
one of the older guys.
one of the older guys. But in all seriousness, it's as we get older, we start to experience the recovery time takes a little bit longer. Things start to ache, and I want to continue to lift, well into my 50s and 60s. So this is a new venture for me. I started powerlifting late, so it's something else that I want to venture into.
All right,
So.
that's a really good point. A lot of people, maybe they start out raw, but as they get older, it's tough on your body to continue to stay raw and lift that heavy poundage. So one way to make sure that you keep yourself healthy and your numbers don't drop a lot is to get into the multiply game, and put on some of that gear. And if just to talk about a little bit is, if you're not sure exactly what that does, is it takes a lot of the weight, if used correctly. Obviously there's a lot of technique involved to maximize what you get out of it, but it can really take some of that pressure off your joints in the bottom range, because now some of the weight is getting dispersed into the tension of the suit. So say you're going down with a squat instead of really feeling it in your knees. And granted, you don't feel like a cup of sunshine after going through a heavy lifting session. A lot of pressure and shit, but it's different.
Yeah.
You're not going to get as much aches and pains everywhere. For example, and this isn't like multiply extreme, but I had something going on one meet with my hip. It was really bothering me. I was wondering, man, am I going to be able to do this meet? All my raw squats are shitty, but I was transitioning into knee wraps, and just having the knee wrap, something to take some of that tension off, did not feel a hit whatsoever. It was like a completely different thing.
Yeah.
Squat shot up like 70 pounds.
Yep.
So just having that little bit of gear really takes some pressure off your joints.
Yeah, even for me, like I was, when I first started with these guys, it was total raw. No, hardly
You
a
were the
belt.
rawest guy there is.
Raw as raw.
He came in without clothes. That's how raw King Leo was.
I mean, when I first started, I had a Velcro belt. I mean, the old school Valero Velcro belt.
I think I offered wrist straps. He said no. Raw.
Yeah, raw. So even buying elbow sleeves and knee sleeves just to keep everything together and just assist a little bit is a great thing. So.
Yeah, so that's why you're doing it, is to kind of prolong your lifting career.
Especially with the bench, I had I tore my rotator and my labrum. It took me about 3 or 4 months to heal. No surgery, and I still feel it every now and then. But the shirt's going to definitively take a little bit of pressure off the shoulder.
Yes, definitely will. But it'll put pressure somewhere other places.
That's okay. Everywhere else is healthy. The shoulder is the thing I got to deal with.
I'll tell you what got me into the multiply. It's not really any of that. It's totally different. I interning at the gym, we had a lot of multiply lifters. Freaking people with their cars driving around here.
Stupid exhaust.
Need for speed. You think we're on a busy road with all the traffic we're getting.
Fast and the Furious over here.
So, I intern at the gym, Gagnon on Strength, where I'm coaching at now, you train at. And all those guys back in the day, It was like a lot of multiply lifters, and I didn't know anything coming in. And I was just seeing them lifting in these shirts and squat suits, and I thought it was pretty cool. It piqued my interest a bit, but I had to build up kind of that base of strength where I wanted to be raw first. And then I remember being at a meet. It was the Hartford Europa. Last year they actually had it in Hartford, and it was such a great meet. We got so much samples, way better than Arlo in my opinion. Europa, you gather bags and bags of samples. It was fun. But I saw Vinny DiZenzo in the back, and that was actually me. He did 900 as big as multiply lift, and I just remember him moving massive amounts of weight in the back like nothing, and I just thought it was the coolest thing. So it was more like, this is really cool, let me try it, and then I jumped right into it, and it's just the feeling of being in the shirt, having that weight over you, handling way more than you could ever handle raw, and just having to hit a groove. It's like going on a roller coaster for that extreme junkie, jumping out of an airplane.
No, I agree. Yeah, it's quite honestly, you're not benching 1,000 pounds without a shirt on. So
No.
you want to really move some weight, which is really one of my goals, is to just move some weight. As a raw lifter, you can move weight, but if you want to move some really heavy stuff and challenge yourself, I feel like transitioning into geared lifting is the way to go.
And if you're into being technical in your lifts, nothing more technical than when you get into a shirt or any gear. It's very precise grooves. You just have to nail everything you're doing, or you're taking it to the face.
You're taking it to the face.
So it's just a whole new level of excitement. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just fun. It's just fun. You're trying not to pass out.
Yeah.
You're trying not to. You're like battling, passing out and shit. And I always joke, I'm taking this weight for a ride, and that's how it feels for me. It's just like jumping on a roller coaster, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, that's it. It's a different feeling when you're doing something more than what you are capable of doing without anything on. It's just something else to feel that real heavy weight.
Yep.
It's the best way I can explain it.
We got any action going on the gram here?
We got Billy for some direction on first meet experiences and stuff.
Billy. All right. Billy, first meet experience. We actually did a whole podcast on that, which I'd like to turn you to. If you go into the iTunes and leave a 5-star review while you're there. We did a whole podcast on first meet experience, which would be very, very valuable for you. So please go check that out. Give it a listen. Is really going to help you out. We talked about all the mistakes that we made. Elvis had a horrible first meet.
Awful.
Can't do much worse than that, so don't make you feel good about yourself.
The biggest thing that
You got
I
any
can
advice
recommend,
for 'em?
yeah, the biggest thing I can recommend is for first meet experiences to remember all the techniques that you learned and trained, because in the heat of the event and wanting to just do your PRs and lift your numbers, you forget technique. So, for example, for me, I've now missed 635 on the deadlift twice, and only because I've forgotten my technique. You get tired, you're fatigued. It's towards the end of the meet. If you remember your training and your techniques, you'll be good.
I'll give you something real simple, Billy. Learn the calls that you have to have at the meet. Train with the calls and open up which 3-rep max. Golden.
There you go.
Short term. There you go.
I would just say find one local and close to you, so you don't have to add in the element of travel into your worries that day.
That's true.
Yep, that's a good point.
That's true. So, there you go. There you go, Billy. Check out that
There you
podcast,
go, Billy.
though. So, what, we got any more action there? Or
No, it's
rounding
good.
that up.
Rounding that up.
All right, so we're going to round up with the King. One thing I wanted to ask the King while he's here, what'd you say, 43?
43.
So, older lifter, extending his training career, which is actually in lifting. 40 is like prime. I think Donnie Thompson hit the world record around that age.
Okay.
But he got into it a little later. What's one piece of advice, something you could give to an older lifter just starting out? Like they're not coming back from younger career. They're just starting out. Older lifter, maybe they feel out of shape. They got some bumps and bruises. What would you say to them?
Biggest thing is going to be core strength is key for us older guys. I can't stress how much or how important that is, and constantly stretching out, shoulders and, making sure that you're just kind of doing the right thing for your body. Everybody wants to lift. Everyone wants to go to the gym. Ego lifting is not a good thing. Lift within your means, but the stretching and the core strength is by far key. Even for younger lifters, it's key for lifting.
Yeah, keeping your body healthy.
Yeah, keeping yourself healthy. I mean, you can take all the supplements you want, but, at the end of the day, you could just eat right, hydrate, stretch properly, and no ego lifting. And if you want to further your career, find a really good gym and a good coach.
Do we have a King Leo recovery meal that's above them all, or recovery shake?
To be honest with you, this training cycle, I stopped taking pretty much all of my supplements. Like, no protein. I've just done everything with food. So for me, like, after a meet, I know this is going to sound funny, but Body by Taco, baby. I love tacos, or I'll do pasta with meat sauce, anything like that. That's for me. Basic training, I'll just go home and whatever's for dinner is for dinner. I mean, I'm just trying to put calories on. It's hard for me to gain weight, so I just kind of eat whatever. But, eat the right foods, don't eat junk food.
That's good, because there's a lot of shit out now.
Yep.
You're from the old school. I'm from the old school, King Leo. I like that old school mindset. Just eat shit, train.
Yeah,
sleep.
eat,
Basic.
sleep, train, repeat.
That's
you
it.
know,
That's
you
so
don't need
simple,
to.
but that's it.
You don't. All this protein stuff is, it's kind of a lot of it's mind over matter. You can really get a lot of your protein based on, the food that you're eating. I mean, I'm no nutritionist by far, but I mean, it's what works for me.
And the diets today are outrageous.
Oh,
You got
diets
the
all
whole-
over the
Diets
place.
It's like fads after fads. You got vertical diet going on. The frickin' vegans.
Yeah.
Vegan. Nothing against like the moral thing with the veganism, but everyone seems like is going vegan, and nothing against it. But man, does skirt steak taste so good?
Meat and potatoes, that's like the best thing. Meat, potatoes, fish, stuff like that. That's what's, I find that protein, for me personally, it bloats my stomach. So I don't need that.
Yeah, so much crazy bullshit.
Yeah.
Keto blew up.
Keto. Elvis was jumping on that for a little while.
I don't know what
actually
you're
did
saying.
that for you were going no carb.
I never
for-
jumped on the keto bandwagon. That's
No, all right. Well, I know a lot of people
Oh, man.
jumped on that. Now, it comes down to eat your food, take your naps.
That's it.
I think it comes down to doing something that you're going to continue to do. Like, not just a week, not a month, but like several months down
In
the
terms
line.
of
Consistency.
Yeah. In terms of dieting, in terms of training, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Consistency is key.
If you don't see yourself continuing that diet 6 months in the future, hack it.
Yeah.
Or just modify it. Just modify it.
Got one last quick question before we probably sign off. But Kimberly R. Haynes.
UK Kim watching the BenchCast.
What's the difference between wearing knee sleeves and wraps for squats?
You want to answer that, King Leo?
I don't wear wraps yet, but my opinion would be is that the sleeves are gonna, keep everything compression together. It's gonna give you a little bit of a boost, but from what my understanding of wraps are, is that you're gonna be able to lift a little bit more, get a bigger pop off the bottom end, and therefore be able to lift more weight at that point.
Yeah, knee sleeves, like you said, a little bit of compression, something to make you feel more comfortable, free squatting like that, raw. Not a bad idea to have, especially because they're legal in competition.
Yep.
So throw on those sleeves, and it just gives you something, gives you peace of mind. The knee wraps, totally different ball game. They are nothing like sleeves. If you use them correctly, I'm not one of those guys who's just gonna lightly wrap my knees. You're talking trying to get the most out of your squat.
Yep.
You are cranking the hell out of those babies. They do not feel good at all, and it takes a very special type of mind to deal with the wraps.
I actually
If
just
they're wrap
ordered a
tight.
pair.
Yeah.
I just ordered the Inzer Black Beauty wraps.
So if you get in wraps, you have to be a savage, and you gotta want to lift as much weight as possible.
That's what I'm about.
Right.
Savage.
I'm not into that light wrapping shit. if you're gonna wear wraps, we are going to put them on and snap your knee off.
Yep.
So totally different ball game.
Yeah.
Just for most people, get the sleeves on for now, and you want to venture down that rabbit hole, take the blue pill, and get some Inns of Black Beauties, and
Inns of Black Beauties.
that's it.
Yep.
Wrap game. All right, was
That's
that
it.
round us up?
Yeah, right about round us up.
All right.
Awesome.
So we want to thank the King for
Hey, the
coming
King
down
was
to
in the house
BenchCast.
today, man. Thanks for having me.
All right.
It's a good time with Electric Works.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so let's go over where we can find Electric Works. Do we have the official spelling on this, or what? Do we have that?
It's Electric Works without the O.
Okay, so
Alright.
at what?
Electric, ELECTRICWRKS.
All right. So if you enjoyed King Leo, you go give him a follow. He just jumped on the gram,
Yeah, man.
posted up some lifting vids from HQ,
Oh, yeah. Good times with the HQ benching.
and small arm, leg strong. Guy doesn't post anything.
Guy who's definitely posting more now.
At Small Arm Leg Strong, you gotta check out his cold brew coffee. We're sampling some earlier. Good
Awesome stuff, man.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
great
Thank you.
coffee. It's taken off. Great cold brew. I like the cold brew because more caffeine.
Yeah.
So it gets my thumbs up.
Yep.
And you know where to find us. Go on to YouTube. If you're watching, you're already there. Give us a subscribe. Check out the iTunes podcast. Leave a 5-star review. We really appreciate it, and it gets the rankings up. Also, at Bench and Benny for my personal Instagram, and then you can follow our Big Benches on Instagram at Big Benches. All right, so give us a subscribe, follow, all that. All right,
Yeah, man.
this has been the BenchCast. King Leo.